Hi friends, welcome to Stay Stitching. My name is Carla and I am glad you are here. This is a Curvy Sewing Collective same pattern different bodies video, and on curvysewingcollective.com you can see Megan and Michelle. You can see their versions and their measurements and their thoughts and everything are on there. And then here on YouTube, on my channel, you can see my version. Now, I didn't have this dress finished until last night, and then we had an unscheduled internet outage. I don't know what was wrong, but we didn't get internet until about 2:30 this afternoon. So they may or may not be able to add me to that blog post, but that's okay. You can see those two versions of this dress there, and you can see mine here. So what we decided to do is the Seamwork Gene. Now this is Seamwork number 3110. And here are the flats. So the interesting thing about this dress is that I would never, ever, 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 ever have made this dress. First of all, this is my very first Seamwork pattern to make, although I have been a subscriber to Seamwork from the very beginning, I think. I think I took a little bit of a break, but then I went back, and so I've been there from the beginning, and I have 8 million credits. I like Seamwork patterns. I don't know why I haven't made more of them. Some of them are a little bit maybe too modern or too young for me, or not fitted enough. And so when they said on the Curvy Sewing Collective contributors group that they wanted to do a video on this, I volunteered to do it for two primary reasons, I think. Number one, I really love being a part of this Curvy Sewing Collective, and I want to contribute. And I just think it's a lot of fun. And the second reason was I have made mistakes on what looks good on me in the past. Like, I've had ideas of what specific garments I should and should not be wearing. And I have sewn things up imagining that I'm going to look fabulous in them, and then been like utterly disappointed at how little I liked the garment, like hated it, and thought for sure that it was going to be super flattering on me. And so I'm kind of on a journey right now to relearn what looks good on me, because those of you who are at my age or near my age or close to your mothers or grandmothers, your bodies change when you reach menopause. It doesn't matter what size you are or how much you weigh. Your body will change in at least some ways when you reach menopause. So my body is doing that, and I have no idea what's going on. So I thought, why not try a dress that I would never, ever have considered in a million jillion years? So let's get started on the same body, different pattern, same pattern, different body categories, to give you an idea of my body in this dress. And of course, at the end, I'll give you some twirls of me in the dress. So I took my measurements right before I cut out the dress yesterday, and my bust was 45, waist was 43.5, hips were 54. That puts me in an 18 for the bust. The 18 bust is 45.5, but I didn't mind a ½ inch extra because most knits are designed with negative ease. I don't mind a little more ease. I'm not comfortable with super tight or clingy garments unless they're jeans. That's just not what I'm comfortable in, and I don't enjoy wearing things like that. My waist, I put, no, the 45.5 for the bust, that was the finished garment measurement. So not the measurement, but the finished garment measurement. My waist was 43.5, and the finished garment measurement for the size 20 was 52.5, and I was comfortable with that. And then the hips, my hips were 54, and the finished garment measurements for the size 20 was 58.25. So I cut the size 18 neck and shoulders, and I cut size 20 everywhere else. I did order the Seamwork Curvy size PDF pattern and sent it off to PDF plotting. Now, I think that the 18, maybe it's the 16. I know that the small pattern goes up to size 16, and the bigger pattern goes up to size 18. So that's something to keep in mind if you're at the very low end of the curvy size pattern. You know, you're gonna maybe have to have both of them. So I've already told you my measurements. My body shape is anybody's guess. I used to be a very specifically hourglass shape. Boom, boom. My bust measurement was usually about 10 inches bigger than my waist, and my hips were usually about 10 inches bigger than my bust. As you can see, that is not the case anymore. My hips are 10 inches bigger than my waist, but my bust is definitely not 10 inches bigger than my waist. So different shape. I like to refer to myself as a menopausal hourglass. Not really an apple, not really a pear. I do carry most of my weight in my tummy. And I know that that's typically apple, but I think that a true apple body shape generally has really fantastic legs, and they're slimmer, and I don't really have that, so I don't know what body shape I have. Pattern size again, 18 and 20, and all I did to cut an 18 and a 20 is I cut an 18 here, and then an 18 here, and then went over to the 20 at the underarm, and that's just what I cut down each side. So that's a really easy, there was no grading. Those were the only alterations I made. A change for the future, well, no, that's not the only alterations I made. This band, this neck band, which I think is laying quite nicely, is supposed to be turned under and stitched down. As a school teacher, I like, this is good for me. I don't want it any lower. Now, even down here, just so you know, there's not going to be cleavage there, you know, really. But I prefer not to have to worry about it ever. I prefer when I bend over not to have to worry about it, and this is beautifully fitted. I did not stay stitch the seam allowance down like you normally do. I thought I would wear it and see how it continued to lay, because just in the few minutes I've had it on, it's been laying really nicely, and I may just leave that there for good. This fabric is very cooperative. That was the only alteration I made. I didn't fold this in like you're supposed to. A couple of odd things on the pattern, and I maybe misunderstood them, but this is how I took them. On the shoulder seams, when you're sewing in the clear elastic, I believe the instructions said to place the clear elastic on the outside of the back shoulder seam. That did not make sense to me, because if you didn't get your seam allowances perfect, then it could be showing little bits and pieces of it that you might have to try to trim off. I just thought, no, I don't want to do that. And so if one of you has a really good explanation as to why I should do that, please let me know, because that just isn't how any other pattern I've ever done explained to do it. And then they also had you sew the clear elastic on first and then do the seam. And that's not how I usually do it. I usually just do it all at once, which I realize is a little fiddly. You're trying to hold the elastic. You're trying to keep your two pieces of your front and your back shoulder seams together. But this seemed like a lot of bulk to me, because you have your elastic on, which is sewn on, and then you have your actual seam together, sewing the front and the back together with the elastic sandwiched in there, and then you have your seam finish, and then you've got to enclose that both in your neckband and in your sleeve hem. And so that just seemed like one extra step. Same thing for the neckband. They had a couple of extra steps in there that I didn't understand. First, you close the short one together, which of course is how you always do it, so the short side together. Then they had you fold it wrong sides together and sew the edge of the open part together, and then they had you sew it on the outside of the dress, you know, with the raw edges all connected. Then they had you stay stitch the neckband. Then they wanted you to fold the neckband in and sew around the outside of the neckband. Wow, that was a lot of neckband stuff. If you have done all of those steps and you really love doing it that way, and you can explain to me why that might be an advantage, please let me know, because that seemed like a whole lot of rigmarole. So that, you know, that's the change I made to the pattern. This fabric is a rayon. I don't enjoy cutting rayons out, and the front piece for this dress is gigantic. It's gigantic. And so it was very hard. I cut it out flat. That's how you're supposed to. This fabric was 72 inches wide. And there was a lot of moving the fabric around, which I did not enjoy. Cutting is my least favorite aspect of sewing. And when I have something like that in a super bouncy, drapey, heavy fabric like a rayon knit, that was not much fun. On the other hand, this knit is very easy to sew with. The edges don't curl at all, and it's very cooperative. If you are paying attention and you have hold of your thread tails at the back of the machine, you can start right at the edge of a seam, and at least my machine won't suck it down. Now, if I don't have a hold of my thread tails, this is going down in there. And it's fun to wear. I noticed one of the girls, I think it was Megan, saying that she did not think that a rayon jersey would be good for this dress. She sewed hers in an ITY, if I'm remembering correctly. I think a rayon jersey is great for this dress. The only disadvantage I can see to this is that it might grow, and this would be a hard hem to fix. So that is the only disadvantage I can see to going with a rayon jersey. I really, really like the way this came out, and it's not clingy on any place where I don't want it to be clingy. So, you know, that's another reason for same pattern, different bodies. We have different opinions on what might work best to sew this up. So you get all the information from these three seamstresses who have different bodies and different ideas and different levels of experience and their different ages. That gives you a lot of information before you decide to choose a pattern. I like the fit of this. It's very loose. It is very easy to wear. It is very comfortable. There is nothing pulling or, you know, slipping or any kind of fiddly nonsense that we sometimes get involved with a garment of any kind. This one doesn't have any of that. It is super comfortable to wear. And so my final thoughts, I like this dress on me. And no one in the world could possibly be more surprised than I am. I've really changed my mind a lot about things that I like on me. My only goal in life is not just to look slimmer or just to choose things that are the most flattering. I'm leaning towards things that I like the style of, that I like the fabric of, that I like the feel of on my body. Things that I feel like I can wear and deal with middle schoolers for 8 hours. You know, things like that. Those are my primary goals. Does that mean that I think this dress is not flattering? No. I think it looks good. You know, I don't have any problems with it. I don't feel like it is too big or anything like that. So those are my thoughts on the Seamwork Gene dress. If you have not used up all of your Seamwork credits and you want a quick and easy, I think this took me less than 5 hours, including cutting out, and I'm slow, dress, then you might want to knock yourself out one of these. You could probably do 2 in like 5 or 6 hours. So that's all I've got to say about that. Don't forget to go check out curvysewingcollective.com, and there you can see Michelle and Megan's versions and really get all the information that you need to make a good choice. And now you're going to see me styling this dress in several different ways so that you can get an idea of how, you know, a school teacher might dress for work. All right, you guys take care and have a fantastic day.
Walk towards me. Go away.
Go away. Okay, that's good for that one.
Give me one more twirl.
Did you get my red shoes?
Yes. Oh.
All right, so here's the dress again. This time I went with silver accessories. This scarf has metallic silver on it. I layered some necklaces, silver earrings, silver shoes, just to give it a totally different look. Obviously, it's the same dress, but here's look 2. Here is look 3 with the Seamwork Gene dress. I just casualed it up with white Supergas. You could, of course, with black and white polka dots, do any color Supergas you wanted. I have 6 or 7 pairs. I just have simple pearl studs on, and I got my hair up out of my face because I'm sweating, like literally sweating right now. Changing clothes for you guys is a serious workout for me. Look 3. All right, so now moving more into fall. I've just thrown on a charcoal gray cardigan that could be, could push the sleeves up. In your classroom, you never know what the temperature is going to be. And then I paired it with my favorite blush pink leather brogues and just some sparkly jewelry. Still have my hair up. And next, I'm going to put a belt on. That's coming up. This was look 4.
Go.
Okay. The final look is belted. I prefer it unbelted. It's just so comfortable, but you can go ahead and belt it if you want. And so this is a wide belt, and I paired it with my clogs. These are not Swedish has-beens because I can't afford those, but these are Lotta from Stockholm, which run $50 or $60 less than Swedish has-beens, maybe more. And I think they're just as cute. And let's face it, I live in Colorado. What do I know from clogs? So these are fine for me. Thank you for going on the Seamwork Gene journey with me. I hope I've given you some ideas for a new dress for your wardrobe. Take care.
You won't shut off.